Hello everyone! So today we're going to be diving into some crochet specific Reddit stories, specifically just things that are kind of drama. I don't want any additional drama happening because of this video. I picked these stories specifically because I thought that they had really good conversations behind them. So these stories are more like Craft Snark stories, so I took a lot of these from the Craft Snark Reddit page. So there are going to be specific people mentioned and designers mentioned. I'm not really gonna talk too much about that, just more about the conversation itself when it comes to the story that we're reading. I'd love to know your opinions and things throughout this video, so definitely comment them down below. But again, try to be nice. Don't go out and message anyone anything from this video. We don't want that. That's not the point of this, but we're gonna have some really good conversations about some crochet topics. At the time of me recording this first one was posted to Craft Snark 17 days ago. It's basically a designer that says taking screenshots or using reader mode is copyright infringement. And I have a few thoughts related to this one. First, I want to say I learned something from this. I had no idea reader mode was a thing. Maybe I'm going to teach you something in this as well. So the picture that the post attached is from the designer, and she says, "Important announcement. We need to address a serious issue that has come up in this community. Anyone promoting or sharing reader mode, copy pasting patterns, taking screenshots, rewriting, or using tricks to remove ads from our blog will be removed and banned from the group. These actions are a violation of copyright and take away from a designer's hard-earned income. This kind of behavior is exactly why we no longer offer free garment and technical patterns on the blog. The free versions we share are supported by ads, which help compensate designers for the time and effort that goes into creating patterns, tutorials, and videos. We make very little from ads, so every view makes a difference. It's completely unacceptable to bypass or remove ads, and this doesn't just apply here. It goes for every blog or website you visit. Designers and makers across the community work hard to earn that small amount of income from ads, and it's what allows them to continue offering free content. We want this community to be a positive place that supports and respects creators. Thank you to everyone who continues to do that." And then someone commented on that post, "Just so I understand completely, we aren't allowed to use our reader mode when we are making the garment on the blog." And the designer responded, "If you don't want to view ads, the proper option is to purchase the PDF version of the pattern. Reader mode removes the ads completely, which means the designer earns nothing from your visit." So there's a lot into that. If you were like me and you're wondering what in the world is reader mode, essentially you can like right click on a website. I tried to do this on my phone, but I don't think my phone, at least the Chrome app, did not allow me to do this. So I don't know if it's just a computer thing. You can essentially get to reader mode and it opens up a panel to the right of all of the text in the website, removing like the ads and pictures and things. It's a accessibility thing, making sure the website is accessible to everyone. I think people using resources that they have to them is not like bad in any way. If someone knows reader mode and they use it so they don't get all the ads, I don't think that is bad. And I especially do not think that's a copyright issue. If you are doing reader mode, copying the reader mode and like pasting it somewhere else, kind of a gray area to me, because if you're just copy pasting it yourself and keeping it for your reference to refer back to, I kind of don't see an issue with that. But if you're like pasting it into like a Discord channel for someone else, or you are obviously selling it, because that would be bad, I don't see an issue of just keeping it for yourself. Is it someone copywriting if you just like take out a notebook and like write down the pattern just so you remember it? No, that's not an issue. Copyright comes from you selling it or like distributing it in any way. But if you're just saving it for yourself, definitely no issue. And I understand the loss of income. I have free patterns that are on my blog that I get money from with ad revenue, and it does really help. Like I get a decent amount of ad revenue. So I'm also coming from the designer standpoint, but I just do not understand the copyright claims. Unless this designer was having an issue where someone used reader mode, copied the pattern, and then pasted it or like sold it somewhere else, then that would definitely be a problem. Even like taking screenshots, I did that all the time as a beginner just because I didn't want to keep looking up the same website over and over. I just screenshotted the pattern and used that for reference. It's interesting because I understand the ad money definitely does help us. It's kind of the way we make money off of free resources. So when I was a beginner, I refused to buy literally anything, like no pattern, nothing when it came to crochet. So it's really great as designers to be able to provide those resources. So it is a little frustrating when we're not able to make some sort of money off of it, but it's not like every single person doing this is copy pasting, sending it to someone else, and her blog has 0 views. She's still making money off of it. People need to go to it to then screenshot it. I would say if like one of your friends wants to make the same pattern, don't send them your screenshots, send them to the website. That way they generate some revenue for the designer, then they can screenshot and do whatever they want to do. Obviously don't redistribute, but you know what I mean. That's my opinions on it. I definitely think it's a little ridiculous to be like, it's unacceptable and like you're gonna be banned, because yeah, that's just kind of ridiculous. The person that posted it wrote a little thing I can read. So they said, I thought this was crazy. I love this designer and have purchased a few of her patterns in the past, but if it's available for free or on her blog, I will often try out a bit of the pattern to see if it's something I want to continue with and then invest in the pattern. When I'm using a free pattern off the blog, the only way to do it on a mobile device is to use reader mode or take a screenshot of the instructions. That's interesting. Yeah, I tried to do reader mode and it didn't work on my phone. Otherwise, the ads cause the screen to jump around and you lose your place. Yeah, like I use Mediavine for my ads and you can't really pick where you want the ads to show up. So mine's always a banner at the bottom of the page, and then I have like a video that pops up here and there, which I know is annoying, but it is a way that I make money. But there are some really bad websites where the ads literally jump you around and it's really annoying. So that's very fair. I just feel like policing the way customers choose to view your free patterns is going a bit overboard. If you can't afford to offer your patterns for free, then maybe just stick to selling them. Yeah, that's fair too. Like if you are very concerned about this as a designer, maybe just don't have free patterns, or have a limited amount of free patterns that you are completely fine not making any money off of. But yeah, that's kind of all my thoughts. A lot of people are also not very happy about this in the comments. If anything, one thing to learn from this conversation is that reader mode exists. I had no idea. I might start using it more often. I mean, when I was seeing it, the normal website was on the left and the reader mode was on the right. So the ads are still popping up on the left, but you get a better view on the right. So they're still going to be making money off of it because you're technically still seeing it. Like this is a computer that I'm talking about and you're getting an easy to view version of the free pattern. So I kind of don't see any issues with it. Let me know what you guys think, and yeah, I'm assuming it's going to agree with all the craft snarks, but maybe just tell me if you disagree with any points that I had. One of my favorite topics is testing and just all the drama and things that go around testing, because it's so ambiguous and there's not like a step-by-step process for designers of how they should do testing, and we've all kind of agreed what is not good and what is good. Here's someone's opinion on what is not good and let's see if we agree with it. So these are some testing requirements that someone found from a testing call. This designer's requirements are that they have to complete it within 6 weeks, which is a pretty short time frame. That's like a little over 1 month. Submit 2 high quality photos. Oh, so it is a sweater, of the finished sweater. 6 weeks is very short for completing a sweater for many sizes. You want to make sure all sizes are accommodated. Photo requirements: clear with a white plain nature background and natural lighting. Very specific. Submit a 10-second vertical video of you wearing the sweater for Reels and TikTok. That's a lot. Provide detailed feedback. That's pretty classic. Post at least 1 Instagram story of your whip and 1 feed post. Take notes of your measurements. That's fair. Assist in promoting the pattern. You must have an open crochet related Instagram profile. Yeah, that's fine. Some other things in the testing call. So they have to agree to pay the full price of the pattern if they don't meet requirements by the deadline. I really hate that. But we'll talk about it. So the person that wrote the post says that she saw this testing call from this designer and is going to apply, but the requirements are insane. As a designer, how can you ask so much of your testers? High quality photos and a video, assisting with marketing, a minimum number of Instagram posts, etc., and not even give them any basic information such as gauge and yarn requirements. To me, it gives off gatekeeping and insecurity that you're not sharing this information about the pattern to prospective testers. Plus the fact that the pattern is released in parts. Oh, I hate that. I really hate that. I'm not specifically snarky on this creator, but this is just the most shocking example I've seen. Testers are doing the designer a favor, not the other way around, so designers with this creator's attitude should maybe treat testers with a bit more trust and mutual respect. The aim of testing is to make sure the fit, maths, meterage, wording of the pattern is correct, not to be a designer's marketing assistant. After the recent reveal of the Discord server illegally sharing patterns, that was another drama thing, this post may feel a bit tone deaf. However, two things can exist at once. Prospective testers should be given basic information about the pattern and should be trusted with all that information, and designers shouldn't have their patterns illegally shared. So this was posted 9 months ago, so it's been a while, but I just thought it would spark a really good conversation about testing calls and the expectations that testing calls should have. I definitely agree with who posted this and that those are a little ridiculous of requirements. Testers are doing you a insane favor as a designer. You're not paying your testers. Literally all they're getting is potentially more than likely incorrect free pattern from you, and they're doing a lot of work for you to make sure that things are good for you to actually be able to sell the pattern. I try to test other designers' patterns as well, and some of the reasons that I test is that I want some one-on-one time with the designer just because I really like them, and also I just really like the pattern and I don't necessarily want to pay for it, even though I could. And then lastly, it's also just really nice to be given a deadline. That way it doesn't become a whip forever. With those being said, as a designer, they are doing you a huge favor. So asking for all this information and things is kind of a lot. I have a testing expectation page on my website for the tester and for me as the designer. And I mention a few things in here, like I never give the pattern out in parts. Some people do that for making sure that their pattern isn't stolen. So if they like send their pattern out to testers and then a tester just ghosts them just because they wanted the free pattern. It sucks that we have to worry about that, but I just think it's really annoying as a tester to have to like pause your work when you have a deadline that you're working towards. Also, yeah, marketing is a weird relationship as well with testing. The reason we love testers is because they're able to make multiple versions of your pattern so that your buyers can see different versions of it. So being able to get pictures and things from your testers to be able to show that off in like your pattern listing and marketing is so helpful as a designer, because you can't make like 20 different sweaters within a month. So many different sizes. Also, it's just so wasteful. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? So having testers be able to do it for you is really nice. But also they're doing you a favor, and I think this is asking for way too much. Specifying exactly how you want the picture to be taken, unless you're like paying them, I don't think you should be able to do that. I do have people collaborate with me on a post. And the reason I collaborate is that they post like on their Instagram like normal, but collaborating with me makes their post show up on my profile and then also go through my followers' feeds so that their profile is getting views as well from doing my testing call. So it's kind of like we're marketing each other, which I really, really like. Yeah, but what are your thoughts on this? And have you ever had a testing call that was insanely terrible, or that you just like requirements you didn't even sign up because it was ridiculous? Oh, one thing I didn't talk about too is paying for a pattern when you don't complete it is kind of ridiculous to me. They're doing you a favor, you're not paying them, so why should you pay the designer? No. So silly. And life happens. Things happen, things are brought up that you can't control, and sometimes you can't complete the pattern and you shouldn't have to pay for it. In this economy, no. This one is an old one. It was 2 years ago, but I thought would have an interesting conversation to it. The title is apparently taking inspiration from knitting is disrespectful. So someone, I'm assuming it's a designer, posted on their story on Instagram a DM from someone, and it says, "Hey there, I will knit a bonnet like yours with the 2 hearts for a friend of mine. Obviously I will not sell it. And I do know that you don't sell your patterns, but I wanted to know if I could still send you a bit of money just as a thank you for the inspiration / idea." That is like the most generous DM I've ever seen. And then the designer, or whoever this person is, she said, "A reminder that I am not okay with people copying my designs. I find it really disrespectful, especially when people don't ask and they just tell me they are doing it. It's so entitled. I've said this before, just because other knitwear designers sell their motifs and patterns doesn't mean I have to, and it doesn't mean you are entitled to them. If I wanted your money, I would sell my patterns. I think the fact I don't should be a clear message, and I don't want my work replicated. There are many reasons for this, and I don't have to explain myself." That's crazy. And then their next story said, "The sad thing is that I know this person thinks they are being nice by messaging me and offering me money to copy my work, but it's not nice. It's upsetting, and it makes me not want to share my work online. I don't think there is a way of changing this. It's just the way craft and knitting is seen." There's an attitude of, well, if I can make it myself, then I am entitled to do so. However, you didn't design it or spend weeks sampling. There are so many designers happily selling their patterns. Please go buy their designs and support them, and respect the designers that don't offer this. This is crazy. And the post says, "Totally understand this person's earlier post about not wanting to sell patterns and being upset that people keep asking, but how is this any different than taking inspiration from something being sold in a store and knitting your own version? I feel like this person was already doing too much by offering money. No need to put them on blast for trying to be nice. Privately message them that you'd rather not. Not trying to attack this knitter. They mentioned in another slide that they have the flu, and I wish them well." Okay. But I can't stand when designers act like personal projects are akin to a huge brand ripping off designs and selling them. The reason I picked this one is because I have a lot of thoughts when it comes to like taking inspiration from things. I think you can't stop anyone from making something that you've made. And this person was so nice. The designer to just be like so rude about it and just hating it is like very shocking to me. Especially if you are like actually saying like, "Hey, I made this inspired by this person's design." I don't see any issue with that. I love that you actually said where you got the idea from. Now I can also go to that person's page and view their stuff as well and potentially follow them. And so it's way better than just straight up stealing something and not saying anything. But the reason people do that is because of people like this who think that people shouldn't ever be inspired by them. It should almost be like nice to be inspiring people. I don't know how much I have to say to this.
The reason I picked this one is because I have a lot of thoughts when it comes to like taking inspiration from things.
I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on this, and if you think that people should not be inspired by, I don't know, I don't even know how to phrase the question. Yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys think. I don't have too much to say other than I don't think it's disrespectful. This last one, I feel like you guys might disagree with me. We will see. It was also 2 years ago, and it's titled, "You may not sell items created using this pattern. Does this make anyone else instantly not want to buy the pattern anymore? It gives me the ick. Most of the artists with this disclaimer don't even sell finished products, so why do they care? And is this even legally enforceable? If I sell something that looks similar to someone's pattern, can I be on the hook even if I never bought the pattern? All this makes me want to do is not buy your pattern and wing it so I can still sell my finished product. I'd gladly credit the creator for the pattern and drive more traffic to their site, but no." What's the point? Yeah, so I really dislike when a pattern says that you cannot sell finished makes of the pattern. I think that is insanely ridiculous, and I don't understand it. I really don't understand not wanting other people to sell physical versions of your pattern. I really do not get it. Maybe you guys can explain to me why people do that. I don't get it. So those are my thoughts. There has only been one person that I reached out to about selling physical products of their pattern. They sell physical items of their pattern as well online, so they ship it out and everything. Basically in the pattern they said, if you'd like to sell, I would love for you to ask. And I think it was a way so that there weren't multiple people shipping and selling them online. I was like, oh, I'm just selling them like in person and at craft shows, and they were like, oh, that's totally fine. So it wasn't like I'm a direct competitor with them, and I think that was really the only reason. But even like what this post says is they don't even sell the finished product, so that makes no sense. Yeah, it seems really strange to me, and I am just very against putting in a pattern that people can't sell physical products of that pattern. I think it's so silly, and I think it's kind of funny when people do message me asking if they can, and I'm like, obviously, like you're totally fine. I appreciate you messaging me and asking me, but like some of my patterns, that's kind of the whole reason for them. Like my crochet butterfly top pattern is a free pattern. In the pattern itself, I'm like, please sell these. Please open up an Etsy shop and sell these. I would love that for you. I want you to do that. That's the whole reason it's free, is so that it is an easy way to get into selling physical products. It's so weird to me. And yeah, if you guys know any reasons why, or you completely disagree with me, I definitely want to know what you feel about it. In some of these comments, like this one's like, imagine putting a cookie recipe out there and telling people they're not allowed to sell it at a bake sale. Let me know what your thoughts are about this. I'm really curious, and I have a hard stance that I think it's super silly, so let me know if you agree with me. All right, that is all of the topics that I wanted to talk about in this video. If you enjoyed this type of video, please let me know. I would love to do more of them because I love giving my unasked opinion on things, you know? And at the end of the day, I know this is literally just fiber arts drama. It's not that crazy, but I think it's interesting, and we're in the community, so it's nice that we care about having these discussions and talking about these things, because they do make a difference in our lives as fiber artists. If there are any other conversations or any specific Reddit posts that you want me to share my opinion on, let me know as well, and maybe we'll do more of these videos. We'll see. But until next time, I will see you in the next one. Bye!
I wish I could leave my skin behind in this old rented room, float my way across the great divide and be bare